The information shared is for educational purposes only. Before taking any action, please seek the advice of a financial or tax professional. Hi, everybody. This is Ron Yaish with Special Needs Life Planning. So here we are on the North Carolina ABLE website. We are going to be doing a walkthrough of their platform, of their website, to learn a little bit more about their offerings and their specific ABLE program. What we're not going to necessarily do is go into what ABLE accounts are all about, the benefits. For that, we have a webinar. You can sign on to a free webinar that we have available to you. You could sign on below. So you're going to notice that we are going to skip around. We're not going to cover every aspect of this website, but our goal is to make this more familiar for those that are interested in this ABLE account. They could know what is there, what it's going to take to be involved, and how to benefit from knowing a little bit more, right? Information is power. The only thing that we wanted to mention before we begin formally was that before taking any action, please seek the advice of a financial professional to make sure that this is a good option for you, and if so, how to go about taking advantage of its features and of its benefits without compromising benefits that you may have. Okay, so when you get to the North Carolina website, what you'll notice immediately is a pop-up that comes up, and it lets you know about a few changes that have taken place. These changes have to do with the law that was signed December 22nd, 2017. There was a tax reform bill passed which changed a number of things having to do with the ABLE account, but one of them has to do with rolling over 529 college or education savings account money into a 529A ABLE account. I guess there are a number of reasons why somebody may want to do that. Let's say they have a number of children, and one of their children is eligible for an ABLE account, and they find themselves with extra funds in the college savings plan, and really would benefit the family to be able to place it in the ABLE account. Now they could do that. Till this date, right now, it's still the beginning of 2018. At this point, I don't know of any of the actual ABLE programs, which are run by each individual state. I don't know of any of the programs that have actually put these changes into place, right? So these changes are already on the books, but I haven't seen this exercised yet. So that's just something to know about. Okay. We're not going to get through everything. Again, we are going to be skipping around. Take a little water break. Okay, so giving those with disabilities the ability to save. So here we have the North Carolina ABLE helps individuals save while preserving their SSI and Medicaid benefits. So this is a great opportunity to save money. And again, we're not going to go into the pros and cons of an ABLE account, but it's important to realize that each ABLE account, each state has a different limit as to what the balance could be. So one state may have 300,000, another state may have 500,000. Regardless of what those limits are, if you're using this account for the purpose of saving money while maintaining your SSI benefits, you have to be careful not to allow the account balance to go over $100,000. The minute it goes over $100,000, some of the government benefits may be compromised, and that's a really big deal and something that you should keep in mind. Okay, so save smart, invest easily, start here. Okay, and then we have forms, how to contact them. We're going to jump right into Save Smart. Okay, so we have the helping to make life better. Okay. These are the plan highlights. Okay. We mentioned this already. It takes $25 to open an account. Okay. What we don't know is what the subsequent contributions need to be, right? So each plan has their own amount. We'll figure that out in a little bit. Okay, so there are two fees associated with this account. One has to do with a quarterly fee of $15. There's a way to get that discounted, but $15 per quarter, so that's $60 a year. And then there's the cost of the actual investments, right? So the investment fee will range from 0.34 to 0.38. So that is what the cost is. And just good to know what your costs are. If you decide to forego the snail mail, as they call it, the mail delivery of your statements, and you opt for the digital delivery, the e-delivery, whatever it is that you refer to that, then you would get a $3.75 credit. So that would save you some money off that $15, and that would be per quarter. So that's some nice savings right there. So who is eligible? First question I always ask is this plan open to people from other states, right? Because not every state has a plan, and those people that don't have a plan in their state do seek out other states that have an open door policy for non-residents or have a program for non-residents. So not so clear yet. Let's keep going. Okay, so they take us, we'll hopefully get to that at some point today, but they do take us to something called a qualified disability expense. So this is what you're allowed to use the money in this account for, right? It's not meant for, it's meant to help benefit the individual with special needs, to improve their quality of life, whether that means getting them extra training, getting the individual some health and wellness. So for example, there was a family that I was recently working with in my other capacity, right, working with families. And there was a young man who needed to exercise more, and his exercise of choice, which would benefit him and something he would be motivated to do, was swimming, right? But there's no, there was no free option where he lives to go swimming. So they paid, we got a pretty reasonable rate that the family paid for a health club for the individual with special needs to go swimming. So that cost would be legitimate, right? It's going to help the individual with special needs. It's going to help them. And so there are many different types of costs. We do have a resource guide down below with various different resources. One of them is a qualified disability expense report. Again, not comprehensive, but a report that will give you a better idea of what these expenses can be used for and what they can be like. The other thing that we have down below, which is something that you should know about, is we do have an Excel spreadsheet as well as a PDF file to help you keep a log of what these expenses are going for. So, for example, you should be keeping track of the date of the expense, who the expense went to pay, or what it went to pay for. So who is made out to, the cost, and the purpose, right? So at this point, I don't believe there are any states that require you to submit that, or there's no one that is auditing that or reviewing that. But it's best practice to have that, right? Because this is, especially if, this is money that should be monitored carefully, whether it's by the individual, him or herself, or whether it's by family members or somebody helping as an authorized user. So that is something that one should consider. Okay. Do I have to prove that withdrawals are for qualified disability expenses? Right now, no, right? But I'm going to venture to say that there's some things that may, be a red flag, right? If there was a $10,000 made to a cruise company, I'm going to assume that if there was a red flag system somewhere, that would be caught, and somebody would say, wait a second, who went on this cruise? Who did it benefit? If it was the individual, that's one thing. If it was the individual and his or her aide, that's another thing. If it was just some random person who took advantage of the individual with special needs, that would be inappropriate, and that would be a problem. Can I have more than one ABLE account? The answer is no. Regardless of North Carolina or anywhere else, you could only have one ABLE account, as opposed to the 529 college plans, otherwise known as, now I think we're referring to it more as 529 education savings plans, right? Because the recent changes in December 2017 broadened that account savings to not just college, but K through 12 as well. So the education savings money, each grandparent can have an account, right? So there could be 4 accounts supporting their grandchildren, and that's wonderful. But when you're dealing with an ABLE account, the grandparents can contribute to one ABLE account, but that individual in the family who's eligible and has an ABLE account may only have one account. The recurring contribution, yes, let's see. You can set up a recurring contribution of $25 per month. This makes the process of investing very simple. Okay. Systematic withdrawals. This we want to know because some plans don't allow it, some plans do. You can make a systematic withdrawal. Excellent. Okay, so if you do have, let's say, a health, some monthly recurring fee, let's say at a health facility or at a health club or whatever it is that you're benefiting from, that the individual with special needs is benefiting from, you can set up some systematic withdrawals for a membership, et cetera, as well as requesting regular payments, which is awesome. Okay, we're going to get to the investments. They say here, which I totally agree, you should check out the plan disclosure documents. That's going to give you a lot of information, a lot of details. Good to know that if you have a question, you could turn to that as a resource. Okay, let's go to investment options. Make sure I didn't miss anything by not clicking plan benefits. I think we just did this. Yeah. Let's go to investment options. Okay, so here, there is an FDIC insured up to $250,000. There is an FDIC insured checking account option, right? For those individuals that say, listen, I don't want my money connected to the market at all. It's just beyond my comfort level. That's okay. Here's a checking account, okay? And if you wanted to grow your money in this savings account, there are 6 options from aggressive all the way to conservative. And if you want to know what it's really like, you can click on any one of these pies and they'll let you know what the objective of this portfolio is, how they do it, what types of funds go in. So here we're seeing some index funds risk is something that really needs to be evaluated, and that's something that a financial professional can assist you in making sure that you're choosing the right option, making sure that you're not being too aggressive, making sure that if you have certain goals and certain plans with these monies, that if you're keeping it out of the market, and if you wanted it, and if you needed that growth or potential growth, that was there, knowing that you could also lose money. So, my interest here is to educate. So I'm not here to make any recommendations of which option is better. It would be inappropriate. I don't know you personally at this point in this relationship, and you don't know me. So I don't know your goals. I don't know what your interests are. So and that's important. So I'm going to make an assumption that if you reach out to the plan here at North Carolina, that they are going to give you information or answer questions about their plan and not necessarily about you. So the question of, do you think this investment is good for me? Or do you think this plan is a good idea for me or my child or my friend or my brother or whomever it is? I don't know if they can even answer that question, right? Because it's not their place to make that judgment, right? The individual on the phone is representing a plan, and the plan can tell you about its features and its benefits, but not necessarily if this is right for you. What I'd like to do next is just jump down to the forms. It's important for you to know what forms are available. A lot of the forms are able to be submitted online as well as downloaded. You can enroll online. You can enroll by downloading and mailing something in. You want to make some changes, there are ways to do it online as well as downloading them. And then there are some things that you could just do via hard copy, like power of attorney form, etc. So those things are there for you. What options do you have to contact the team, right? So they have a phone number, they have an email address. Call them, email them, and you can mail them. Just FYI, if you are going to email somebody, in general, you should not share your password. But if you're going to email somebody, definitely don't share your social, your date of birth, and a password, just for your own safety. So that is the plan here in a nutshell. Let's jump into... No, that's not what we're going to do. Sorry about that. Jump the gun. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what it takes to get into this process. As long as you have all the information, the social, the date of birth, the bank account number that you want to connect to this for contributions, and the residential street. As long as you have this information, the signing up process is going to be fairly simple. I'm using this information. I am not going to be completing this process. I think it's inappropriate. I'm just getting you in the door so you could see that there are 6 steps here about you. Are you the person, him or herself? Are you helping the person? Are you an authorized individual on the account? What's the individual's name? Please don't contact me here. I won't respond. This is not stuff I answer. What type of disability? And then after that, you would go into to choose investments, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the North Carolina ABLE plan. If you have any questions, feel free, or comments, please leave a comment below. We do our best to try to respond to as many of the comments as possible. You could always email us at info@specialneedslifeplanning.com. We welcome your questions, your responses. Our goal is to be there for you, right? Our goal is to learn about something, do some research, share our research, share the information via articles, via videos, via webinars. We don't know everything. We're not experts at everything. We are very comfortable with part of the special needs life planning process. And we say that, and the other stuff that we don't know, we want to be there as a resource to go out and learn on your behalf. So I don't know if we'll call ourselves journalists or educators, whatever it is. Our goal is to be there for you. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Please feel free to subscribe and share this with other individuals, other organizations that you believe may benefit. Again, my name is Ron Yaish with Special Needs Life Planning. It's been a pleasure spending some time with you today. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It means a lot that you've spent the time with us. Just wanted to ask you if you could to please subscribe to our channel. It does help us. It means a lot to us. And if you are watching this on the blog, you wouldn't be able to subscribe, but you would be able to put in your email address and join the ABLE Report community. That means when we come out with information, when we come out with our ABLE reports, you would receive it. So please enter your email address if this is on the blog, or click subscribe on right below this video. Thanks so much. Until next time.